Hi everyone, I'm Julie Webb, and I'm here today with David Duffett, and this is Asterisk Live. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
David, say hello to everyone.
I'm pleased to be here, Julie. This is our first one, isn't it? Since we were handed the reins by Big Billy Cheer, we've taken this on, and now we're going to be talking to the lovely Ruth.
Yes, so joining us today on Asterisk Live is Ruth Bridger from XORCOM, and let's say hi to Ruth and let her introduce herself.
Well, hello everybody. Feel quite honored to be the first guest in this new format. As Julie said, my name is Ruth Bridger. I'm the VP of Marketing at XORCOM, and we're based in Israel, so probably talking to you from a long way away. Great to be here. Let's get the ball rolling.
Thanks, Ruth. Well, tell us some more about XORCOM. What's a bit of background? How long have you been in business, and how'd you get started, and where are you now?
Okay, well, XORCOM actually is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, and it's quite a milestone for us. In preparation for this interview, I went back and interviewed the co-founders of the company, a father and son team. That's Izzy Gal and Eran Gal, who is currently the CEO. And they gave me the story, and it's quite interesting. Izzy had his own business called Their Online Solutions, having to do with communication, starting from AS400, but also branching into the IP gateways. And at a certain point in his career, he realized that there was a lot of difficulty in making a mark in the IP gateway market, even though the company tried to make a name for themselves with the hardware. As far as the software, they were always running into trouble with the proprietary codes, whether it was H323 protocols, SIP, things like that. And so he started looking for an alternative, and he came across Asterisk. And he decided that it warranted the establishment of a whole new company. And so he and his son established XORCOM in 2004. And he attended the first AstroCon, which was in Atlanta, in September of 2004, if memory serves. And he was just so energized by what he saw there. The spirit of the community, the direction, the whole idea of having an open source project where you're not dependent on a single manufacturer for, to develop new parts of it or to fix what's broken, but that it was a real community effort, and that really fit in well with the mindset. And so from that point, it was pretty straightforward. We, as a company, decided that the first thing that we could do as a contribution would be to simplify things. One thing that Izzy mentioned is that for a lot of telephony experts, the ones that come from old school, the whole idea of open source or an open source platform is quite scary. They don't know Linux or Linux, however it's pronounced in whatever market, and that we could do as a company in the community spirit was to create an environment for these, kind of non-technical telephony types, so that they could experiment with Asterisk and see how rich and functional it was. So our first product was actually just a software contribution. We supplied it on what was a download from our website and also on a CD, which took Debian, Linux, and Asterisk and bundled it together with a preliminary configuration so that basically anyone could just kind of try out Asterisk on their own PC, turning their own PC into an Asterisk environment, without any kind of no going back commitment. So it was a good step. We got a lot of good feedback from the community that this was helpful. And of course, we felt that it helped introduce a lot more people to the wonders of Asterisk. And then from that point, we decided, okay, we do need to make some money in order to stay afloat.
We all need to make some money somewhere, Ruth, don't we?
So we started developing the telephony interfaces, the FXO and the FXS. And along the way, I believe it was in February of 2006, we contributed the drivers to the mainstream Asterisk, which some of the people listening may recall the auto detect of back then it was Zaptel devices, but Zappy devices. And I point this out because, first of all, just the connection with Vigium. It's so important, obviously, the maintainer of the code and the chief go-to people when you have any questions or concerns or ideas about Asterisk. But when we develop these drivers, we develop them with all kinds of interfaces in mind, so that everybody, no matter whether it was XORCOM products or Digium products or pretty much every other card manufacturer could benefit from this auto detect the drivers. And so
yeah, and Ruth, let me just jump in and give the name of that auto detect, because of course in the Zap days it was called Gen Zaptelconf, but these days it's called Dardi_GenConf, isn't it? That's the utility that we're talking about.
That's right, absolutely. And I just point that out because it is very important for us to continue with the community spirit. Coming from a proprietary world, we know all of the drawbacks of a proprietary software, and I think it's I can't stress it enough when customers or potential partners ask us about the viability of an open source project. We say, oh, instead of having a handful of in-house developers, you've got a worldwide network of professionals that are, contributing and discussing and documenting and moving the project forward. It's such a win-win. There's really no contest here in my mind.
Indeed, Ruth. I wonder if you could just tell us about the situation today and the current products that you have briefly.
Okay. So along the lines of strengthening the reliability of the whole telephony solution for business, we're mainly focused on B2B. Okay, so these are business telephony solutions. So it's a major concern for businesses that they have uptime, that their phone system is reliable, and so we developed the Twin Star, which is a dual server redundancy. And because of we have a special architecture where we have the telephony cards are actually located external to the server. They're in an Asterisk, which is like a channel bank, and it's connected via USB to the servers. This Twin Star has really made a name for XORCOM, and then we've gone even further on the reliability issues. We recently released what we call the Blue Steel, which is an IP PBX that has hot swappable disk drives and hot swappable power supplies and kind of internal power for up to 4 Asterisk. So it's really heavy duty, but it's still in a nice 2U case that fits into a communications rack, and in my opinion, looks pretty good. And one other thing that we did recently is that we co-developed. I mean, we're partners with Digium in this what we call the plug and play. So we might have to. Okay, so the plug and play, which is what used to happen is that if for any reason a card went bad, or there was some kind of issue with with one of the modules, and you had to reboot the server, then
Ruth, just to be clear, we're talking about legacy telephone connections like PRI or BRI or analog connections now, aren't we?
Yes, that's true. So the way that the code used to handle this, it couldn't skip over a faulty card when you rebooted. And so we worked together to develop a method which is called plug and play, whereas if you do have such an issue and there's a card that goes bad, then after rebooting the machine or the server, then the other cards, meaning the other extensions or ports, can still function. So, this is again another example of how, we work to supply solutions that all of the partners in the Asterisk community can benefit from.
Yeah, and we would like to come on and talk about that community participation in a moment, Ruth. But before we do, some of those products, of course, in certain areas could appear to be competition for Digium. And you said that you work with Digium too. So how does all this play out on a sort of day-to-day basis?
Yeah, interesting. It is interesting. Deep down, I think the major premise at XORCOM is that there is enough business around for everybody. We certainly have not, depleted the number of opportunities out there. And when I look at the XORCOM distribution channel, and we do not sell direct, we only sell through our professional worldwide channel. We have many, many, many partners that distribute both Digium and XORCOM products, which to me is, firm indication that there are places where the Digium solution is the best fit, and there are places where the XORCOM solution is the best fit. And we leave it up to our distributors, to determine that. I think that, the Digium products, the switch box, it definitely has its place. It's very, easy to implement, and it's, kind of a preset, and it's a very smooth kind of way for companies that, don't want to really, kind of roll up their sleeves and kind of dig into the capabilities of the system, but to have, something very simple and straightforward, that's fine. We've kind of gone a different way with our complete PBX. We also give, an end-to-end solution where you have both the software and the hardware, but we leave open root access for those partners that want to, kind of tinker a bit and get the system specialized and, allow integration of third-party products and all of that. So I think that's the key, is that there's enough business out there for everybody, and it's in our best interest, I think, what we call, I didn't coin the phrase, but we use it a lot around here, it's called co-opetition.
Yeah, and as I said, we're going to come on and talk about the great levels of community participation that you have, but I think Julie has another question first.
Okay.
Ruth, you mentioned that XORCOM's been exhibiting in Astricon since 2004, or participating in Astricon since 2004, and we're thrilled that you've consistently been a sponsor there. So I'm just curious, what keeps you coming back year after year? We love it, but I would love to, have you share, just why you do that every year.
Okay. Well, it's true. There has been XORCOM presence at every single Astricon since day one. The first year was, kind of as a participant, as a spectator, but already from the second Astricon through all of that, there was kind of a roadshow type Astricon, like a
yes.
expo, Europe and London and Berlin, and I can't remember, maybe it was
Paris.
Paris. It's very, very interesting, to be with a company that's, kind of checking out all these opportunities. Some were more successful than others, but in every instance, we were gratified for the opportunity to meet up with others who, kind of saw the Asterisk vision and were making it a reality. And, for us, it is the perfect combination of the opportunity to get up to date on the status of, the product or the project, as well as to, meet new business prospects, whether they be partners for the distribution channel, for end users that are savvy enough to, seek out these events and come. And, with all this great technology that we have here, this Google Hangout where we're having a video interview across thousands of miles, for me, the in-person networking is imperative, for a good relationship. And I think relationships are at the basis of any good, long-lasting business tie, for success. And I also want to mention that we rarely get Safrir Cohen, who is our senior programmer, out behind his desk. But thanks to special recognition that we got from the Asterisk community at the last AstroCon. So he did participate, and I asked him, to share some of his thoughts on participation. And he did agree with me about the networking part. That was also very good for him because he's in good contact with the rest of the community, but electronically. But he did mention that DevCon, which precedes the AstroCon, was a highlight for him. That it's a terrific opportunity to be part of the process of defining the future of Asterisk. So that's also an important note. For me, I'm more on the business side, on the marketing side, but for the developers out there, he singled that event out as the real highlight of the year.
Yes, and we very bring him along, Ruth. In fact, I'm just thinking back to the time when I was in Israel and I came round the XORCOM plant there, the XORCOM facility, and as Iran guided me round, he pointed over to Safrir and he said, well, that's Safrir, we pay him, we don't know exactly what he does, but we do pay him. And that leads very, very nicely on to nearly our last question, really, about community participation. Because for those people that do track what happens in the Asterisk community, it's pretty well known that there are those people that kind of take all the goodness of the project and don't necessarily give anything back. And then there are companies like yours who very actively participate and contribute back not only stuff that's within your kind of vested interest, but lots of other stuff as well. And so I wonder if you could tell us, why you choose to do that and invest the way you do in that community activity and participation.
Well, we definitely believe that what goes around comes around, and Eran may have told you that he doesn't know what Safrir does, but we do. We know that he is on faculty and he is, solving everybody's problems and not minding so much the XORCOM, kind of project plan. But that's all part of it. I think that we are where we are in large part because of our reputation in the community, and I think that's what makes our business so satisfying is that, like I say, it's built on these relationships. And you know that if you have an issue, that you have an idea, that you have a problem, that you have a suggestion, there's going to be someone who responds and encourages and supports, and that's the best. We're not in it alone, and it's not all about the money. All those things are, make it great to jump out of bed in the morning and come to work here at XORCOM.
That's great, yes, and of course I keep an eye on the different lists like the Asterisk dev list and user list and see Safrir jumping on and chipping in there. So we're nearly to the end of our time together, Ruth, on this hangout, but we did want to give you the opportunity to say anything else you might want to while you're here on Asterisk Live with myself and Julie.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We actually just got back from participating in Communicasia, and that was my first time ever on that side of the world. And we see that there's also a very vibrant Asterisk community there. Of course, we have our distribution partners, but to hear, kind of our partners' customers being so excited about what's going on and the possibilities with their systems. Recently, we integrated video conferencing, that's multi-point video conferencing, into our Asterisk-based PBX. And this is a brave new world where because of the flexibility of the Asterisk platform and also our knowledge in video conferencing, that we've been able to, create this terrific bundle, which allows small and medium-sized businesses to take advantage of video conferencing, because with our platform, any fixed device, whether it be a smartphone or a tablet or desk phone or soft phone, can communicate with all other endpoints on the system. It's called BYOD, Bring Your Own Device, and that's kind of a new direction for us, but it's really taking off, and so we're looking forward to demonstrating that at the upcoming Astricon in Las Vegas.
Well, great. Thank you for sharing that, and also leading in to Astricon, which is something we're all looking forward to. It's going to be the biggest and best, as we try to do from one year to the next every year, and of course this time it's going to be in Vegas. Julie, can you remind us of those key dates?
Absolutely. It'll be October 22nd through the 24th, and we cannot wait to see everyone there. It's a highlight for Digium, excuse me, for Digium and all of us. It's the best time of the year because we get to see all of our community members, those like Ruth and XORCOM and many others. So if folks watching are interested in exhibiting or attending, just check us out at astricon.net. And again, it's Las Vegas, October 22nd through the 24th. You don't want to miss it.
And it's the Red Rock establishment there, isn't it?
That's right. It's a beautiful facility, and I think it's going to be one of the best ever.
Great. All right. Well, listen, Ruth, I'd like to say thank you very much for participating, and I'm sure Julie would too.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Ruth. It's always a pleasure to see you, Ruth. I can't wait to see you in October.
Ditto. See you there.
Thank you very much. We'll see you there.
Take care.